Even though up until recent years we hadn't seen much of Grand Admiral Thrawn, his appearances in Star Wars games go way back to the early 1990s.
Excellent.
But across Star Wars gaming history, there were only very few times you could actually play as arguably the most feared villain in all of Star Wars Legends. Today I'm going to show you every time Thrawn has appeared in a Star Wars game, and if there are any I missed, please let me know in the comments. Hey everyone, it's Andrew. Thrawn's first and most notable appearance in a Star Wars game takes place in the 1994 video game Star Wars TIE Fighter, the immersive first-person spaceflight sim where you play as an Imperial pilot. The game takes place after the Battle of Hoth, and Thrawn is first introduced as Vice Admiral Thrawn, who's overseeing reparations for his Star Destroyer.
Damage caused by the rebel attack is almost repaired.
Excellent.
The game also follows the story of Grand Admiral Zarin, who was assigned the task of creating a hyperdrive for the TIE Advanced. But later, the Grand Admiral betrays Palpatine and attempts to overthrow him. And at the end of the game, the player prevents Grand Admiral Zarin's insurrection and gets an award from the Emperor himself, and also Thrawn's appraisal.
Excellent.
The game's additional campaign then begins with Palpatine promoting Vice Admiral Thrawn to Grand Admiral, and orders him to hunt down Zarin and destroy him and his forces.
You must track down Zarin and destroy his forces once and for all.
Excellent.
And this is why he recruits Marique Steele, your character, to his campaign. Thrawn then spends the rest of the game hunting down Zarin while at the same time overseeing improvements for his Imperial TIE fighters. Thrawn later becomes aware that the Imperial scientists found a flaw while developing a cloaking device, and that the experimental cloaking technique could cause a catastrophic reaction if used in conjunction with the hyperdrive. Thrawn knew Zarin's desire to gain new technology could be used as a way to lure him into his own demise.
I have studied Zarin's ways and have discovered a weakness in his reliance on technology.
So, Thrawn later allows Zarin to steal the prototype ship they were using to experiment on and erased all information about the possible failures. As Zarin was escaping, Thrawn begins his attack on the ship and Zarin activates the cloaking device as he orders his crew to make the preparations to go into hyperspace. The ship was obliterated by the unstable reaction and Zarin perished in the explosion. Thrawn watches the explosion from afar.
Thus is the fate of enemies of the Empire.
In this game, Thrawn was portrayed by an actor called Tris King, who I tried looking up and this was literally his only acting credit, and gave the character a different accent to the one that would actually become Thrawn's signature voice. And even though Thrawn wasn't a playable character in this game, he was extremely important for the game's plot. Also, this game was released 5 years before anyone decided how to pronounce Coruscant.
The prototypes are safely on their way to the Emperor on Coruscant.
Thrawn didn't make another appearance until 1998's Star Wars Rebellion, a real-time strategy game where the player can choose to either be the Rebellion or the Empire. You begin Star Wars Rebellion with a set of characters that will aid you in conquering worlds, upgrading your fleet, and winning the Grand War. The game also requires you to develop diplomatic skills to recruit enemies or neutral worlds to either the Imperial or Rebel cause, depending on the side you choose to play from the beginning of the game. Now, if you choose to play this game as an Imperial, Emperor Palpatine will contact you directly and inform you he has recruited Thrawn, a ship's researcher, who will ensure that you have a good fleet at your command.
Excellent.
And then later as you progress and Thrawn is available to command a fleet, he can be deployed basically wherever you need him to take over entire worlds. Thrawn's next video game appearance wouldn't be for another 5 years in 2003's Star Wars Galaxy, an online RPG experience where if you play as an Imperial, you can meet Thrawn on Naboo, who's just chilling here in his luxurious palace.
Excellent.
And he assigns you a total of 6 missions that vary between escort, collection, and combat. And after you complete all of Thrawn's missions, Captain Veers, who is right next to Thrawn, will give you more quests. So nearly 10 years of Thrawn in video games up until this point, and we still haven't been able to play as him. The 2006 video game Empire at War had an expansion campaign called Forces of Corruption, which depicts an underground syndicate leader named Tibur Zahn, who, upon the breakout of the Galactic Civil War, seizes the opportunity to take control of the galaxy.
Let the rebels form their new republic. I've always wanted to own a senator.
Here, Thrawn appears briefly in the campaign, ambushing Zahn's forces with his own Imperial 1 Star Destroyer. Thrawn is visible via hologram and is not a playable character.
Of course, I was aware that you had taken Jabba's comm-node on Salukami.
However, it's also worth mentioning there's a mod for this game called Thrawn's Revenge, and it features Thrawn's fleet as a playable faction. The mod expansion takes place following Palpatine's death, his initial death anyway.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Excellent.
And it goes through several legend scenarios that take place after the Battle of Endor. So up until this point, the only playable version of Thrawn was as a mod, and you weren't even controlling Thrawn himself, you were controlling Thrawn's fleet. That was until Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, the 2015 mobile game, where Thrawn appeared as a playable character during a special event in which you could unlock the character by defeating him. However, then again, in 2017 Star Wars Force Arena, the real-time online PvP game, he appears once again as a playable character. And I believe Thrawn was included in this game as a Star Wars Rebels character. However, this game was shut down in March 2019 and is no longer playable. But let's be real, does a playable version of Thrawn in a mobile game really count? Thrawn wasn't actually properly playable in a video game until 2022's LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. The game features a Star Wars Rebels DLC, including characters from the animated series, and Thrawn was included with this pack. And I love the way his movement and walking style resembles the way we see him in Star Wars Rebels, but unfortunately, because Thrawn is a DLC character, he doesn't actually have any voice lines. He doesn't talk.
Excellent.
And none of the DLC characters talk in this game, even the ones that are already in the game. For example, Darth Maul. The DLC version of Darth Maul doesn't talk, but the normal Darth Maul does.
No more half measures.
Why? I believe there was a mod that changed this. You could play on PC, but this is the only proper official playable version of Grand Admiral Thrawn in a video game to this date, which is why I have a bonus for you. This is not an official Thrawn appearance, but I want to give a special mention to the Thrawn 2021 mod for 2017's Star Wars Battlefront 2. As this mod is actually based on Lars Mikkelsen's portrayal of Thrawn and was created before he even appeared in Ahsoka. Lars Mikkelsen, of course, plays Grand Admiral Thrawn in Star Wars Rebels as well.
And perhaps today we're going to learn their true identity.
And a lot of people thought he was likely the best choice to play him in the Ahsoka series, and that's what we got.
First, just a dream has become a frightening reality.
The mod replaces Iden Versio as a playable character and also features an RK-3 blaster, which Thrawn has used at times, and two separate appearances based on Thrawn in Star Wars Rebels, with a helmet. He gets the helmet.
Excellent.
And if you like Battlefront 2 mods, you could check out this video here, where I modded Battlefront 2 into the game it should have always been. You can click that here, and come follow me on my socials, and thank you for watching this. My name's Andrew, I'll catch you soon.